2 here at Kyoto. What a fantastic race 1 we've just had then. There was a lot of fighting for the race win, but it was Dud CF14 who won race 1 in the end. A brilliant result for him, his second of the season and his second race victory in Japan, no less, as well. So he's got a bit of a liking for the circuits. 18.05, the only driver out on circuit at this present moment in time during this little interlude between the race starting after the sort of race 1 we just had. So yeah, a little bit of a break for drivers. We won't be starting until 20:43 for race 2, so a couple of minutes for the drivers just have a little breather, or maybe to get out a little bit of practice. We didn't see much of 18.05 during that race. He did finish 9th in the end, but didn't have the same prominence that he's had this season. 18.05, he had a couple of podiums throughout the season. He had one of course, the opening round at Dragon Trail, but he's followed that up a couple of times already. So hopefully in this reverse grid race he will have the opportunity to fight potentially for maybe a podium, maybe a top 5. It'd be a good chance for him. So yeah, fantastic in any case for the drivers in that last one. Really good to watch. A lot of action throughout the field. There's a couple of other drivers come out on circuit. There's Shadow Stalker out and about on the track, just coming through turn 5, and Chalk's just come out of the pit as well at turn 1. So brilliant for a couple of cars. Unfortunately for Biggsy, he won't be taking pole position in this race 2. He's had a lot of cramp in his shin and his thigh, sadly, so he won't be able to take to the start. So Greener Army 2009 takes another reverse grid pole position, which is, I think, the 4th one he's had this season, so that's a good one for him. But nevertheless, a lot of action, I'm certain, for those ahead to come towards. Looking at the Mégane chat at the moment, just to see what's been happening, what's being said, and it doesn't look like there's much that's been said in lobby 2 in any case, but lobby 1 seems to be a few different issues going on from there, but we don't need to worry about them because we're in lobby 2 and where the action is always frenetic and always very nice to watch. Always a spectacular event to commentate over in these number of seasons, and Kyoto always provides this wonderful dynamic of overtakes and sort of drivers. Really, the best drivers always come to the front around this circuit. You see it in qualifying, the raw speed of the driver and the consistency that's needed, and you saw it from Duds, and effectively you saw it from Duds there, you know, coming out to take that race win. Duskiver again, you know, both of them both had that real raw speed, and you could argue that those two, maybe they are the quickest in the lobby, but don't show it every week, or maybe Dominator's the best racecraft. It's very hard to say because this lobby 2 is so close all of the time amongst the drivers that any number of drivers can win it. You look at the drivers tonight and there's effectively, you know, 10, 11 drivers who can win it every week. That's how strong it is in this lobby. Everyone's really well matched together. Of course, how that'll be next season's going to be a little bit more problematic to determine. We could have some drivers coming back down from lobby 1 into lobby 2 because of the numbers, which would be good. It might be nice to see a couple of familiar faces from lobby 2 seasons gone by. Those that have watched in the past will know who I'm talking about. KZ2 has just saying there, one costly penalty, and it was a big penalty, and that dropped him right down to 5th in the end of that race 1. Less than 60 seconds to go though before the start of the race, and I've just got to reply back to a little question. There you go, just a little question that has been asked by the Lobby 1 host there, not a problem. And Big Madaz and Haas had a really good fight for 3rd. In the end it went the way of Big Madaz, who got another podium. I think that's his 2nd this season, if I'm correct in saying. But we are at 20:43, so I'll just let the drivers know that the race is starting now. So we'll just cut out of this, make sure everyone has entered, which he has, That's very good news. Sadly, without Bigsy, whose presence will be missed in this race, but nevertheless, we can get on with everything. Let's just double check the settings, shall we? We've made mistakes in the past. We don't want to do that again. 15 minutes, all sorted. Fine and dandy. So the race will begin in a few seconds' time. Race 2. Who's going to take this race victory? It's going to be very fascinating to see how the drivers at the front cope with the pressure and the demands. But here we go, into race 2. So, for the 4th time this season, it's Greener Army 2009 on the reverse grid pole with Shadowstalker alongside him. 1805 and D. Hartley on the second row. Watch out for D. Hartley. He's got a point to prove from his qualifying pace. 15 minutes on the right-hand side for race 2. Here come the numbers. And race 2 is live from Kyoto. Looks like a really good start from Greener Army. Shadowstalker's going backwards. Hartley looks like he's going to get 2 places for the price of 1 here as he comes into turn number 1. 1805's hit the back of Greener Army. Not ideal. That's sent him wide. And Hartley's going to take the lead. Never mind 2 places for the price of 1. He's got 3. He moves up to first. Chalk up to second place. Fabulous start for him. Shadowstalker, despite all of his poor start as Greener. Oh, that's Dominator. That's Dominator in the wall in the background. Big Madaz has gone into the wall as well. Hax is 4th. There's Danzo. There's Duskiver. There's Big Madaz. Duds. 1805 has hit the wall again. And in fact, he's left. He's retired. Dominator, we saw hit the wall. Duds has had an incident as well, and it's all gone wrong for Dominator 3 already at the start. He didn't need that. He's got a lot of work to do to get back up the field, and 1805's left. That's game over for him. But D. Hartley won't believe his luck. He started 4th and he was 1st by the end of turn 1. What a start. He leads the way. Chalk 12 is in 2nd, but look at Shadowstalker giving it as good as he's got. Up the inside into turn 12. He's going to look for that move and he's going to seal it. Is he? He does, but he's rammed wide coming out of the corner and he's on, well, he's gone very wide. He's off onto the grass as Danzo hits the side of him and he drops down from challenging for 2nd into 6th. That's how quickly it can change on the opening lap around this circuit. Chalk 12, he's in 2nd. Haas is up to 3rd. So he's had a good start. Danzo's in 4th. Duskiver is in 5th. Shadowstalker, 6th place. Has a penalty. Not sure where he's picked that up from. He's got Big Madaz hustling him and harrying him. Dominator is in 8th place at the moment, losing a big haul of points to D. Hartley, who leads the way. Duds is 9th. Greener Army is 10th. That is the top 10 and the only drivers that are competing at the moment. We lost Bigsy before the race even started, and 1805 DNF retired, but it's Hartley who leads. Chalk 12 in 2nd place. Got a nice run actually through the complex, did Chalk 12, and he's going to be right in the slipstream of the Fuchs driver, the championship leader at the moment. Haas is 3rd. Danzo in 4th place, 3rd in the championship last season. Danzo was fighting for, didn't quite get there in the end, ended up 5th, but very quick driver nevertheless, always about. And look at him, he's going to look for a move at the inside at turn 8. He goes braking into that corner, but he can't quite get there. Haas runs deep into the corner and he just lined the car up nicely. Duskiver is going to be looking for a move if he can up the inside. Will he try and take advantage of Danzo looking for a move? He doesn't quite do that and just slots it behind, but Danzo's left a huge door for the pink car to pop through. But Danzo, I think, is just going to have the momentum coming out of turn 12, which he does, and holds the position. So Haas finding himself back in his familiar 3rd place. He's had 4 of them this season, trying to go for number 5. He's been exceptionally consistent throughout this campaign as Haas. But can he get a 5th, 3rd position? Chalk, meanwhile, is in the fight for a 1st ever race victory. He hasn't even had a podium, don't forget, his Chalk 12, but he's there. Look at it, he's set fastest lap so far on a 36.7. I know that's only the 2nd lap, but that's still impressive to see his name at the bottom left of his screen there. Really nice to see other drivers getting into the mix, but Chalk 12 really putting the pressure on D. Hartley already in this early phase. He's got a lovely run through turns 4 and 5. He's going to be right underneath the rear wing of D. Hartley, who's blocking off, and Chalk just backs out of it, throttles off and stays behind Hartley, and that's probably the best thing for him to do right now. Try and get a gap to Haas and the cars behind. Haas isn't being harried by Danzo. Danzo more like harrying the grass at the moment. He's got to be careful he doesn't fly off the circuit. Doskiver's still in 5th. Big Madaz fighting now with Dominator, who's moved up to 7th. So on the inside is Dominator, looking for a move and keeping it as clean as possible, but they make contact into turn 8. Duds is going to see this and going to try and pounce as he comes towards the hairpin for what will be the 3rd time. Got to look to the inside, then the outside, and he's on the outside for turn 11. He's got to look to the inside now. Dominator tries to make up the move at the inside. Big Madaz covers way too late, but Big Madaz gets a little helping hand from Duds and goes through. Dominator ended up on the grass because of the contact between the two of them, so Duds is now on the outside. He's going to be on the inside, is he? No, he just slots in and stays in 8th. Shadowstalker trying to keep up with these 3. Oh, he's sideways coming out of turn number 14. Got very lucky. Bit of bumping between Dominator and Big Madaz, but Dominator doesn't want to take advantage, so he just stays behind in 7th place. But the fight for 6th, every bit as frantic as the fight for the race lead, because the top 4 are close together and Chalk's on the inside. He makes the lunge, contact between the two. He's going to slot in behind. Yes, he doesn't take advantage. Good racecraft from Chalk. He knew he'd done wrong and just slotted straight in behind him. Haas couldn't make any advances on that, but this is a 5-way fight for the lead because Doskiver's joined in. Danzo's there too. Look at Haas trying to dart one way and the other. Now he's on the inside. Is he going to try and brake later going into turn number 6? He is, but he's not quite alongside and loses his momentum and stays 3rd. He just about covers off Danzo, but Danzo's got underneath him, and can he make that move into turn 7? He can't, and a little bit of contact between two means he has to fight off Doskiver and hold on to 4th place, which he does. Haas gets a good run out of turn number 9. He's just not quite close enough, I don't think, for a lunge. Will he try it? He looks to. Oh, Chalk as late as he dared. Just putting Hartley under that pressure. Brilliant fighting so far. Race 2 always proves to be a little bit more almost desperation for the drivers to try and get up the field. Look at Chalk, he's ran too deep into turn 14. He's gone the right side of Haas. Oh, he's braked too deep into the corner. Haas is going to get underneath him, and is he going to take 2nd? He runs Chalk over the curb, and into 2nd goes Haas, and Chalk's probably going to lose another position here. It's going to be on the inside as they come towards turn 1 for what were the 5th time. Danzo's on the outside. Will he try and brake a little bit later? No, he doesn't. But Danzo runs way too deep, and he loses that 3rd place he'd very quickly gained. Skyver in 5th place. I'm amazed that Big Madaz and Dominator haven't made inroads on this 5, fighting so ferociously at the front. Chalk gets a brilliant run through the sequence of corners. Danzo's following him in the slipstream. If Danzo is wise, they know that they can't keep fighting. They've got to use one another here to put themselves back into this fight for the race victory with half the race still remaining. And that's exactly what they're doing. Chalk's got some really good lines through parts of this circuit that are just keeping him in the fight. But Haas can sniff a race victory here. Danzo with the fastest lap of the race, a 36.6 so far. But he's got a very good run. Chalk blocks aggressively. Danzo's on the grass. Unbelievable, but he just holds on. Chalk very aggressive with his defensive manoeuvres. I think Danzo will be particularly pleased with the over-aggression, but it wouldn't have been enough for Chalk to have received a penalty of it. Maybe a warning, nothing more. But Doskiver's looking. Oh, Danzo, big twitch because of the grass into turn 13. That's Chalk on the grass as well coming out of turn 14. Big Madaz has fended off Dominator and has actually just backed out of it. He's trying to clear that penalty as Dominator, and Duds as a result moves up to 7th. So the race 1 winner not made any inroads so far into the race leaders. He's 4.3 off with 6:40 to go. Back at the front, Hartley now having to fend off a new contender in the form of Haas. He's caught up to the back of him. And Haas just needs to keep up a sustained level of pressure, because Hartley, who's in a brilliant position right now, will know that he just needs to gain points on Dominator. And look at this, the momentum is exactly what Haas needed. Going into turn 6, he's up the inside. He gets the move completed, surely. He gets the car tightened up, which he does. And Hartley can't take advantage. Danzo's up to 3rd, Doskiver's up to 4th, and Chalk looks like he's going to be spat down from potentially leading this race on the grass as he braked there. Just about slots in and goes into 5th. But Chalk will be learning all the time as this goes on. It's his first season. What he needs to do maybe to get a podium. If he sticks with this quintet of cars, he should have a very good opportunity further on in the race to maybe snatch a podium if someone makes a collision or a mistake somewhere. Hartley having to fend off Danzo because Haas has got past him. Oh, Haas very sideways into turn 14. And look at Duskiver trying to go around the outside of Danzo into the final corner. Seen him try and do this a few times. He's going to go right round the outside. Duskiver, can he pull this off? He's going to have the slipstream just coming out of the corner. He's going to have the momentum as well. Is Duskiver going to take 3rd place? What a fabulous move from the Zerkatech driver. That was absolutely outstanding. Duskiver, move of the night so far around the outside of the final corner. He's up to 3rd. Danzo's in 4th. Chalk's in 5th. Duds fighting side by side with Big Madaz. These 3 are fighting so hard because they know they've got a chance to move up the field. They're 3.4 away now from the cars in front of them. They know that they can catch that quintet of cars and make it an octet fighting for the lead. And I've never had to say that before. 8 cars fighting for the lead with a couple of laps to go being fabulous to watch. Big Madaz just a bit sideways. They've got to use Duds. Duds is the quickest of this trio. They've got to use Duds to push themselves up to this field of quintet cars to go into the last lap or so with a chance of maybe just pulling off an unexpected result, because Haas has now been closed down by Hartley after breaking away a little bit. He knows that Hartley will try and make every move he can. Danzo defending on the inside of Duskiver, going into turn 12. Chalk trying to get underneath Duskiver, which it looks like he's done, but Duskiver just has the momentum to stop him getting past, and Duskiver blocks him off rather forcefully but keeps 4th place. Oh, he's just on the grass, as is Chalk. The gaps, look at this, look at the gap. This is going to be an octet of cars, ladies and gentlemen, fighting for the race lead in Lobby 2. There's never been this many cars with so few laps to go fighting for what could be a race victory. Take your pick, whoever you want could win this race, as Haas now begins lap 8 with 3.5 minutes to go. There's going to be enough time potentially for 3 laps depending where you are in this field of cars. Hartley fighting to try and get a race win again this season. Danzo looking to score another podium to add to his race victory earlier on in this campaign. Duskiver looking to try and bounce back, get another podium for his pole position. Chalk in the mids as well. Duds has lost a little bit of time, but he's gone purple in the first sector. That's what he needs to do. He's got time to catch up. Shadowstalker, Greener Army, unfortunately, they're out of it. We're not concentrating on those 2 for tonight. D. Hartley then, in the slipstream of Haas in front of him. Haas doesn't need to defend too much going into turn 8. He's gone a little bit deep into the corner, but he's always lined a little bit too wrong. Here comes D. Hartley. He's got the momentum then, coming up the hill as they approach turn 11. It's going to be completely flat, is Haas, and he is defending on the inside. Danzo looking at this battle. He'll be waiting for his chance to try and sneak through if a little gap forms. Duskiver's there too. Duds and Dominator and Big Madaz very close together, and Duds has joined the pack. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, we've got an octet of cars fighting for the lead as Duds goes off into the grass just as I say it, as briefly as it happened. That might just be it. He's there still. He's still got the slipstream. I'm impressed with Duds' speed tonight. He's got the fastest lap, and he's hauled himself onto this huge train of cars. You can see them all almost within one shot. If you cut to Big Madaz, we go to the external camera, you could see the leaders going into turn 1. How fabulous is that at the moment? So Haas still leads. There's Hartley, there's Danzo, there's Duskiver, there's Chalk, Duds, Dominator, Big Madaz, all within a breath of one another at this point. Fabulous to watch. Chalk trying to go past Duskiver. This is his opportunity. If he wants to get on the podium, he's got to do it now. He's purple in the first sector. That's what he needs, and he gets through to 4th. Danzo looking for a move up the inside. He's sideways going into turn sector 4th. He was going to lose it. He just holds on. Danzo stays in 3rd. He can't get past Hartley, who fends him off for now. Chalk's got a huge amount of slipstream. Danzo's going to have to try and defend and attack at the same time. Danzo comes across on Chalk, side by side. Chalk's trying to go around the outside into turn 8. He's going to have to try and cut the corner. They've made contact, and Danzo's into the wall, and Duds goes through, Dominator goes through, and unfortunately for Danzo and Chalk, that's game over for them in a podium. Unfortunately, Danzo squeezed Chalk, and then Chalk had nowhere to go and he hit one another. That's a racing incident for me. So the octet now goes down to a sextet, which is a battle of 6. So what will happen between these drivers has been absolutely superb. There's going to be one more lap, surely, after this one. So Haas, he leads the way, and for once has got a little bit of a gap to D. Hartley, who's having to back everyone up, because Duskiver has moved himself into what could be a potential double podium tonight if he can fight his way past that red and blue and white Fuchs car in front of him. There's Duds. Dominator has joined in the fight. Big Madas is just a little bit further back now. Maybe the sextet has become a quintet on this final lap, and I suspect that will be the case, because Duds trying to go for a podium, Duskiver trying to go past Hartley, Hartley trying to fend everyone off, and Dominator just sitting there waiting to see what happens. Greener Army will be the first to see the checkered flag, but in any case, Haas leads the way, and he's got a 1 second gap, so Haas might have just booked it here. But Duskiver is having to defend from Duds, will ride on board with Dominator, and Duds is trying to go around the outside of Duskiver, but Duskiver breaks a little bit later. Duds trying to get up the inside, but he can't get through. There's a pink car blocking his way. Dominator is now just tracking these two. He's got to wait for his chance if he does get one at all. Duskiver trying to look at a move at the inside at turn 8 for D. Hartley, but he's realistically got to be closer than that. D. Hartley defending for all his worth. This will extend his points lead in the championship if he can hold on. Duds is still having to defend off Dominator. Dominator looking for a late lunge up the inside, but he can't quite get there. He taps the back of Duds to try and maybe open up an opportunity, but Dominator, we know he's a clean racer. He won't try and take advantage. So Duskiver and D. Hartley, these two now realistically the two closest on the circuit, but Duskiver doesn't get the opportunity. What about Duds and Dominator? Dominator's going to be on the inside going into the final corner. Dominator's going to try and up the inside. He's pushed his way through. Will he concede that place? I suspect he might do. Yeah, he does. But it's going to be KZ2 Haas who wins race 2. What a fabulous race. D. Hartley second, Duskiver third, Dominator fourth, Duds fifth, Big Madas sixth, Chalk 12th, 7th, Danzo in 8th, and Shadowstalker will see the checkered flag, the last across the line, in 9th place. Wow. What a superb, brilliant fight that was for the race win. There was 8 cars with 2 laps to go, all in contention, but it's KZ2 Haas who takes the race victory. He started 7th, he finishes 1st. Brilliant performance from him. He takes his 2nd win of the season. So D. Hartley will extend his points lead in the championship fight. He's going to be very pleased with that. 3rd went the way of Duskiver in the end. 4th and 5th might be contended between Dominator and Duds. It was an interesting one at the final corner, but Dominator had to go for it in terms of keeping on with the championship fight. But take a breath. What a brilliant, brilliant set of races that was around Kyoto Driving Park Yamagiwa. That was unbelievable to commentate on. Big Madas, rightfully so. What a race it was. But that is it for round 6 of Lobby 2 in the Mégane Trophy. We will be heading next week over to America for round 7 for Laguna Seca, which is a brilliantly historic circuit that we've used a long time ago in the Méganes. But we'll see how the drivers get on then. But in the meantime, do check out the Next Gen social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, and on the nextgenracing.co.uk website as well, where information is updated regularly, where you get to have a little bit of a look at our wonderful championship. But in the meantime, thanks very much for watching, and wherever you might be in the big wide world, I hope you have a good one. See you very soon.